Привет, друзья! Вы на канале RouteOne Club. Я вас приветствую. Это канал для всех, кому интересна тема тракинга в Соединенных Штатах. Мы здесь обсуждаем все, что происходит в индустрии, а также я делюсь своим мнением. Меня зовут Эдуард Литвак, у меня более 10 лет экспириенса в логистике. Построил вместе с партнерами 7 направлений, из которых софтвер для траковых компаний, навигация, аппликация на телефоне для водителей и другие направления. Ко мне сейчас в офис пришел представитель Freightliner, очень опытный специалист. Я ему задам вопросы, которые меня интересуют, решить для меня проблемы. Но, может, некоторые из них и вам помогут развить ваш бизнес. Поехали! Давайте его послушаем. И первый вопрос, который я ему задал: стоит ли покупать mid-roof трак или не стоит? Давайте посмотрим, какие плюсы, минусы, и есть ли какая-то разница в цене. Поехали!
Is much less expensive as you would think. I think the difference is about $800 to $1,000, which kind of surprises me. And then you don't always get an upper bunk as well, so some people steer away from it from that. The residual value is usually not as good either.
Для меня было удивление узнать, что разница между mid-roof и high-roof только $1000 по цене. Как бы в чем смысл тогда покупать mid-roof? Но давайте послушаем дальше.
Okay, so it's usually if you're very weight sensitive, but fuel economy is a benefit too, especially if you're running a flatbed fleet, okay, with a Conestoga or a van. Not necessarily, it's just probably worse because then you have a higher trailer than you do a tractor. But we can quote out a mid-roof as well. You know, if you do have, I would say if it's a flatbed, certainly look at it because it's not a very fuel efficient application as it is. So anytime you can make the profile of that truck smaller, the better. So I think your savings would be in fuel economy. I think you have to tell me, is most of what you have Conestoga or flatbed or
Flatbed, step deck.
And step deck. Okay, so it may make sense in your application. Let me. I have a couple specifications here. Actually, a heavy haul too that we talked about. So let me go back and put a number on the mid-roof with the same spec we have here. Okay.
Another question will be regarding the heavy-duty Freightliner trucks that you have. And curious to see what you have in that direction.
I gave you a brochure last time we were here on the Western Star. And the Freightliner is really, I have one here. It's a Freightliner with a 46,000 rear, 10,000 pound pusher, and a 14.7 front. Okay, so that's about as heavy as we would want to go with a Freightliner with a Cascadia. With a Western Star, we build trucks pretty commonly that, the gross combination weights go well past 200,000 in some cases.
Western Star is
Western
part
Star,
of
part of Daimler.
Heavy haul, it's better Western Star.
Yeah, and it was developed, it's been around for, I want to say it's a 50-year-old platform. Daimler acquired the brand maybe 25, 30 years ago, but it was developed in Canada. It was actually built in Canada, and it was built for logging in Western Canada, in the Rockies. And that is, if somebody gets, I'd say above 120,000 pound gross combination weight, I would direct you to the Western Star.
What we notice right now that as many used equipment, maybe not for sales, but companies has extra equipment in parking lot, and they are not really open to put the offer for the new equipment.
We've seen used truck prices dropping. I would say, consistently, probably for the last year, almost month by month. And, we look at it, as far as I look at it as a salesperson, we have our inventory list, and when things set for a while, we write it down. The price comes down to help us move it. About 60 days ago, we had a move where we took about everything in our inventory and we dropped the value about $5,000 a truck. Unused, right. So it has been going down. Part of that is because of the drivers, the CDLs, the non-domiciled CDLs, things like that. Spoke to a customer this morning, said he had 70 trucks parked in his yard because he doesn't have drivers for them. How long that'll last, I don't know. I think it's going to be very bad for trucks that are 600, 700,000 miles because eventually that's just going to be a scrap export truck. I think trucks that are in the 300,000 mile range, I think you'll see those values start to come up pretty soon. And I think that's going to happen because as the industry starts to realize what's happening in EPA 07, okay, that in calendar year 27, the value or the cost of new trucks is going to go up probably significantly. I think a minimum of $10,000 a truck.
When? Next year?
On any engine, any truck with an engine manufactured on January 1st of 27. Okay, because that has to meet the new emission standards. So it'll take 2 months for that engine to get into a truck. So, yeah, when you see a model year 28 truck, which will have a EPA 27 engine in it, that's going to be a significant upcharge. And I think a minimum of $10,000.
10,000 minimum.
Minimum.
We just discussed before, like 30 minutes ago, about like you mentioned that there's some companies who has used trucks on the lot. They're not ordering new trucks, but in general, like they have orders in the place. Like this month is more than for the last.
Yes, it's a truck country out of our store here in Hampshire. This so far January has been better than the fourth quarter of last year for new orders coming in.
I read the news regarding December, and I say maybe they are willing to purchase more equipment because would like to reduce depreciation and taxes. I mean, increase depreciation, reduce taxes. But if you see in January, the number it's increased, still increase, that's...
It is, you know, and that's for us at the dealer level now, okay? And I think what I saw too from December, it was order intake. So Freightliner Corporate had a great December. I think they were 60% market share for order intake, and we're 38-40% market share overall. But December was a very good year. Now those are trucks that are ordered in December that customers won't receive or pay for until this calendar year. So they're not going to be able to claim depreciation on it last year because they don't have the truck yet and they haven't paid for it. What we think that is that the larger fleets, the Walmarts, the Schneiders, the Rails, the Martins, have already thought ahead about what they want to buy in this calendar year to avoid having to make too great of a purchase in calendar year 27. They're already thinking about, okay, what's the impact going to have on price, on maintenance, on technology, reliability, all that. So they're moving forward.
Okay, good to know.
Are you aware of, and Vlad and I have talked about this, what do you know about EPA 27, about the rule change?
Just how we understand is that some federal requirement related to environment, and the engine will request an additional kind of like functionality specification in order to have less CO2 emission.
Right, okay.
And because you do more improvement technology, stuff like this, the price increase, and that is mandated starting January 2027.
Right. Okay, at least you're aware of it. I'm glad you have some knowledge of it. I still talk to customers that are not aware that this was coming, even though we've been talking about it for years, and they weren't aware. A lot of customers I talked to still believe that, the Trump administration and the current EPA secretary is going to push this out and cancel it. We don't have to worry about it. But about a month ago, they announced that it is going to happen, and they're not going to push it out, and it's something we're going to have to manage.
It's already revised and approved.
There's parts of it are final, and the part that is final is the NOx reduction, the nitrous oxide reduction, which has to be reduced by another 80%. And then things that are still being negotiated is useful life, where today we have to meet, a new engine has to meet a certain level of, pollution regulations for, I think, a period of 450,000 miles. After that, it doesn't have to maintain its like new status. They're talking about pushing that out to 700 or 800,000 miles. If you do that, we have to re-engineer things and come up with better technology that's going to last longer. Okay, and then also they're talking about warranty requirements, where today we have to, the base engine warranty is 2 years unlimited. But on the emissions-related components, it's further out than that, I think up to 450,000 miles. They're talking about pushing that out as well. And then if you look at what the warranty prices are, warranty has a cost. If we are mandated to put that warranty on it, if it's something you're not used to purchasing already, we have to add that into the proposal, right? And it makes trucks get expensive again. So that's going to mean in some cases new engines. It will still be the DD15 platform and DD13 platform for us, but there will be changes to the engines, and it will be a completely new after-treatment system. Something you need
give
to
that information, we start thinking. So that's
exactly. And I'm glad you are. I don't want to scare people, but it is something that we should be aware of.
Have to take consideration. Yeah. Okay. And if the order is placed right now, how long it takes until the truck gets done?
Right now, I believe we still have late March slots available. Okay, but we're supposed to say we're an April build, so we could probably deliver trucks right now comfortably. If we ordered something this week or next week, we could probably deliver it by the end of April. And what Freightliner is giving us right now is they're giving us pricing that is locked in for the year. And this pricing, they told us they're going to hold until March 31st. And then things may change again as the economy changes. But I think right now we're at a pretty good spot. Whether we deliver that truck on April 1st or build it on December 31st, they will lock in that pricing for the entire year.
We don't see much of the reduction in price. I mean, pretty much same prices as last year.
It's Edward, I've seen certainly not a reduction in price from last year. In some cases, I've seen where it's the same or a little bit more. When you figure in the tariff, which is $3,000, which was implemented around June, I think, of last year. Then you have the new Gen 5 version truck, which we still build the Gen 4. And then you have the model year. When you add all those things in, the price could have gone up. On paper, when they look at all the jumps and the steps, it's like $8,000, $9,000 increase. But what I'm seeing year over year is closer to anywhere from $0 to like $2,000 because Freightliner can build trucks in late March, which is way too close in for them. I'm kind of surprised that the jump was as little as it was.
Okay.
Trucks are, still far more expensive than they were 3-4 years ago, but I get it. And understand too, Edward, the 5th generation Cascadia, it's really not a new model. It's an improvement to the existing truck. It's the biggest change in it is the processing speed, because before we had one radar and one camera that was watching one car in front of you in the lane in front of you. Today, you have 5 radars and one camera. They're all working together. We're watching up to 40 vehicles at the same time in multiple lanes, 19 times per second. So the truck looks the same. It's the same engine, same transmission, same driveline, same emissions. It's just the big push was safety and the processing speed to get the safety up.
Okay.
But I don't think, as far as a technician, unless you're working on the electronic side of the safety, a technician's not going to notice much of a difference. The driver may, but...
but that part of the safety very important.
Вот так прошла моя встреча с представителем Freightliner. Я узнал несколько интересных вещей. Во-первых, мидруф траки почти не отличаются по цене от Double Bank. Разница примерно около $1000, что в цене не имеет большого значения. Во-вторых, Western Star входит в семью Freightliner. Это тоже для меня было новостью. В-третьих, цены на used trucks 2025 года падали каждый месяц в течение всего года. В-четвертых, цены на новые траки не упали. Наоборот, они растут и по прогнозам будут продолжать расти еще как минимум следующие 2 года, особенно на Freightliner. В-пятых, большие компании продолжают активно закупать траки. траки. Custom ордер на Freightliner сегодня занимает около 60 дней, что считается очень быстрым сроком доставки. По модели EPA 5 и EPA 4 внешний дизайн почти не отличается, но есть один важный момент. Если ты заказываешь EPA 4 и добавляешь дополнительные опции, Freightliner часто ставит цены выше, чем на EPA 5. Скорее всего, это их стратегия, чтобы продать больше моделей EPA 5. Ну что, спасибо за то, что досмотрел до конца. Я очень рад, что смог поделиться с тобой этой информацией. Если есть тема, которая тебя лично интересует, мой подписчик, пиши в комментариях, и я сделаю ролик на эту тему, потому что я выбираю темы именно по запросу моих подписчиков. Жми колокольчик и давай расти вместе. Да, и про комьюнити не забывайте. Я открыл этот канал для того, чтобы развивать сообщество людей, которые реально любят трекинг. Скоро вернусь с деталями, а пока все, увидимся в следующем видео. До скорой встречи.